It's Brian Wilson. Larry O'Connor is on vacation. Joining us is Crystal Wright, self-described conservative black chick. And on the phone right now is our good friend, KT McFarland. KT, how are you?
Good morning.
National security analyst, and boy, is there a lot of analyzation that needs to be going on various national security issues. First of all, yesterday there was a big announcement that U.S. flights will no longer be going into the airport, Ben Gurion Airport there in Tel Aviv, because of the ongoing conflict between the Israelis and the Palestinians in the Gaza Strip. Many people looked at this and said, well, you know what? This may have been the victory that Hamas wanted to claim, that they had an impact that went beyond the borders of the Gaza Strip.
Absolutely. Hamas continues to initiate these cycles of violence. They provoke an incident with Israel, Israel responds. Hamas ramps it up by lobbing rockets into Israel. Israel responds by taking out the rockets, destroying the rocket depots. And then everything's peaceful for a while Hamas rearms to start it again. We've had a number of these cycles. So you have to then scratch your head and say, why is Hamas doing this? They know they're going to lose. They know they're going to lose big. They realize that. But what they want to do is win asymmetrically. They want to win by isolating Israel and driving a wedge between Israel and the United States. How to best do that? Civilian casualties. That's why they put arms depots in hospitals. That's why they put school children on buses, school buses, and put Hamas leaders at the same buses. That's why they put rocket launchers in basements of schools. They want casualties. They want children as casualties because then they can say to the world, see how terrible Israel is?
Right.
They really deserve to be isolated. And so the latest, which is we're going to cancel flights to Israel, that really plays into the hands of Hamas victory.
KT, you are exactly right. Hamas, they provoke the violence, but then what troubles me and you and everybody else is that Israel is painted as the bad guy, right? It's all Israel's boxed in the corner. Israel is defending itself and its people, and I'm not saying the Palestinians, the innocent ones, they're victims too of all this, but like you said, it's to further provoke, I would say, you said it well, to put the wedge between Israel and America. And this president, usually what he does, he's always pressuring Netanyahu, you got to come to the table. You have to negotiate with terrorists. That's really what he's saying, right?
Yeah, well, and if you look at the charter, the founding charter of Hamas, it says we're not going to stop until we've killed all the Christians and Jews.
Right, obliterate
the state of Israel, right. and literally kill the Christians and Jews. What worries me is the second thing, though, that people haven't really focused on. A lot of the strength of Israel is its technology sector, and it's very entrepreneurial, successful people. A lot of those people have dual citizenship. They have another passport. They can go live somewhere else. And they're sufficiently talented and successful that a lot of places would like to hire them. So what happens if you're a young tech entrepreneur in Tel Aviv, and you see this, you've got a wife, you've got kids, you see this constant barrage, you've got this very attractive job offer in Silicon Valley. At a certain point, you're going to say, maybe I just, for the sake of my family, I'm going to get out.
Yeah.
And that's another way that Israel is greatly diminished. They punch way above their weight right now because of the quality and technology and the ability of their people. What happens if a lot of the best people leave?
All right, I want to turn to the Ukraine situation and that downed jetliner. Look, this was a turning point, or at least an opportunity for a turning point in this whole battle between the United States and Vladimir Putin. Vladimir Putin has been just sort of, walking all over the United States, walking all over the concerns of the rest of the world, doing what he wants to do. But now this looks bad for Putin. Are we taking advantage of this as an opportunity to bring some pressure on Vladimir Putin?
Well, the ambassador to the United Nations, Samantha Powers, who I've been very critical of in the past, she gave a really strong series of speeches blaming Russia, putting the blame squarely on Russia's front door and saying, you started it, you can stop it. Sadly, she's not being supported by the rest of the government, and she's certainly not being supported by her European allies. I hardly blame the European allies, though. Look, they need Russia for their economic survival. They need Russian natural gas. So if the United States were really serious about standing up to Russia, really serious about reinvigorating the sort of depleting NATO alliance and European Union relationship, with the United States. What we ought to do is say, look, we know it's really hard for you, France, for example, to not sell those expensive Mistral warships to the Russians. We'll buy them instead. We'll make you good. We need them. We're going to buy them. Don't sell them to the Russians. What we could do is go to the Germans and the others and say, look, we know you can't really stand up to the Russians at the expense of having natural gas to supply the electricity for your manufacturing sector. We're going to help you with that. We're going to fast-track building liquefied natural gas terminals so we can sell you our liquefied natural gas so that you can keep going. Now, it's not going to happen tomorrow, but it could happen in 18 months. It could happen in 2 years. So let's take those steps now, and let's stand up to the Russians now. But we're not doing it. Everybody's sort of looking at the symptom of the problem, which is how powerful Putin is. Let's go to the cause of why he's so powerful. It's because he's got energy money. Oil gives him money. Natural gas gives him political leverage.
If only we had maybe built a pipeline that would allow some of the oil that's in Canada to get to the coast so it could then be shipped to Europe. Oh, if we'd only had a pipeline that could have done that.
Keystone. And but our exports, we were talking to Congressman Moran yesterday. Yeah. He even agreed with us that exports are high right now in the US of oil. Why aren't we sending, like you said, KT, why aren't we trying to help the problem? But this goes further back, I would argue, to when Ukraine was trying to get admitted into the EU. This is really what it's about. And then that's when Putin stepped in with money. Remember?
Yeah, well, here's what happened. I mean, I had breakfast with one of the deputy prime ministers of Russia right as this crisis was happening. And he basically said, Ukraine is broke. We were going to forgive them their debt. We were going to lend them a lot of money. We were going to give them cheap energy. They turned us down. And if they don't want us, fine. We're going to do just the opposite. We want the money back. We're not going to lend them any extra money. And we sure as heck are going to raise prices of our natural gas. We'll see how much Europe steps in to replace us. And then when I was in Ukraine last month, it was pretty clear that it was a Russian invasion. And so Russia is using that as well, military and economic power.
Yep.
KT, we'll leave it right there. Thank you.
Thank you.